Over the past year, I've covered countless videos of cities burning and innocent people attacked by mostly peaceful protesters. These scenes are usually pretty terrible, but things do not always go the way that mostly peaceful protesters are hoping. My producer has compiled a list of the funniest Antifa, BLM, and rioter fails of the year. First, I should mention this video is sponsored by MyBookie, the best place to place bets on sports events of all kinds. More on them later. But for now, let's check out some of the most delightful, mostly peaceful protest videos. Okay, the first one is the most coherent reason for protesting yet. Let's watch.
What brings you guys out tonight?
We live in this neighborhood, and we are anti-Trump.
Okay. I'm trying to get the other side in there. So are you here to protest or support Biden? Like, how would you categorize it?
We're here to support our family and our people against whatever Trump is for.
Well, I think he's probably just for getting better right now.
We don't care how he's feeling.
Okay, well, that's about it, and I think that's about as articulate an explanation as I've ever heard. What do you oppose? Trump. And what are you for? Not Trump. I'm for whatever, not Trump. Okay, that's good. That actually was mostly peaceful, though. They were, there wasn't weren't setting buildings on fire or anything, so I give them more credit than most of these guys. The next one is Skateboard Kyle goes for the kill shot. I like it. This little kind of shrimpy Antifa guy, and then this just giant, hulking conservative man. Just like, he's like barely even looking at him, and then the kid throws a punch, just like, nope, sorry, try again. All right, I'll go back. Did not expect that. I love, man, that giant guy just keeps us cool the whole time. It's good, no worries. Next one is the Molotov cocktail karma. Yep, that's... Oh, yikes, there's another one? Oh, man. Oh, no. Oh, that other guy just caught his Nikes on fire, but this guy caught his whole body. There's a real lesson in here, by the way. When you try to set the flag on fire, when you try to set federal buildings on fire, when you try to set your fellow American citizens on fire, sometimes you will accidentally catch yourself on fire. When you try to destroy your country, you often, almost inevitably, you might say, will destroy yourself, as those poor schlubs found out. Okay, now this one, they tell me I've got to guess what's going on in this video. This is called Defiant Feminist Halts Traffic. What happens next? Can't wait to see. What happens next? Does anybody have any bets on what happens next? Well, if you do have a bet, I would recommend you go check out MyBookie. It is betting season at MyBookie. You know that I love a good political bet every now and again. I actually have right here is the winnings of a bet I made with one Mr. Ben Shapiro 4 years ago during the 2016 presidential election.
There we go.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
No!
Don't worry, I mobile deposited it, so it's not like he got to keep the money. Mobile deposited it, then obviously framed it for the studio. If you like fun election bets, you got to check out MyBookie. You can bet on the winner of the presidential election, the day the loser will concede the race. They've got betting opportunities for the final presidential debate. Will Joe Biden call President Trump a racist? Well, that's an easy bet. There are a lot of other bets too, though. Whether you've been betting for years or you are ready to play for the first time, MyBookie is your go-to this season. With the biggest online selection of bets and props, MyBookie has made it simple to win and easy to withdraw your cash. Head on over to MyBookie to create an account. Just use the promo code Knowles, K-N-O-W-L-E-S, to claim your 100% deposit match. That's all the way up to $1,000, which means if you put $100 in, they're going to give you another $100. It's an easy way to jumpstart your bankroll. NFL, NBA, MLB, everything else. They've got it all on tap, and it is never too late to get started on your winning season. Only at my bookie. All right, any bets on what happens next? I don't have any bets. I'm too nervous for this gal. Let's see what happens. Okay. Oh no! Oh, that's not nice. That's actually. See, this is like why. The thing is, the reason that's not funny is because it's a woman. Like if it were a guy, it would be absolutely hilarious. But I actually don't get any pleasure from seeing even the most shrill leftist crazy woman get knocked in the head with something. Because I just think like, lady, you shouldn't be here. You should be like in a nice place with like, I don't know, with like your friends and your family and your children and like enjoying life instead of standing on a rainy street waiting to get run over by a car until some other guy throws a traffic cone at your head. Not a good state of society. It's like almost like the Cultural Revolution of the last 60 years hasn't been great for all of us and women in particular. Next one. The real reason guys go protesting in Portland. Yeah. Is that a chick? Oh, that is a chick. It's hard to tell because it's kind of bleaked out. Yeah. I don't think it works if you're standing behind the gal with the shield so that you can get a look at this completely naked lady. I have to say, this is obviously pixelated out because this is a family program, but very often women of the far left are not like Aphrodite, they are not sort of classical visions of physical beauty. But I don't know, she looked kind of nice looking, and apparently that Antifa fella was interested in taking a gander as well. Next up, times are hard in Democrat cities when even celebrities are looting and stealing bread to survive. Does that count as a COVID mask? I think you were like a giant Elmo head. That is the most whimsical way to steal property I think I've ever seen. She put on just like a big, silly cartoon mask. It's tough out there, though. I don't know. And those Republicans are cutting all the funding from Sesame Street, so they got to eat. It's not a sin if you're stealing bread to feed your family. Next up, police get absolutely served by BLM. See, I'm not one to always look for a psychological explanation to strange political ideas and behaviors, but there's obviously something psychologically broken about these far left protesters, like when they're kind of dancing around all wacky in front of cops and things like that. Or when you look at the people who show up to Antifa, and a ton of them are just felons, and like one guy was a pedophile who was like very prominent because I think he got shot by that conservative kid in Kenosha. All these people have like real psychological damage. And the ones that are shrieking and screaming, like something tells me they don't have the nicest home life in the world. They don't have lovely Thanksgiving dinners around the fireplace and good old dad like throws them football or something like that. There obviously is something that has broken in the psyche of America, and that's obviously going to have effects on society. When you've got a lot of personal problems, the left told us decades ago, the personal is the political. When you've got a ton of personal problems, when your entire personal life is just totally warped, that is going to have political effects, and we're seeing that prance around and dance around on the streets of American cities. All right, last one. Classic. Protester gets reality checked.
You just saw one of the protesters go up there and actually kick a can of that.
Out here that are kicking the peppers.
Oh gosh, right there, right? That is unbelievable aim from presumably law enforcement.
And a guy just got shot with a rubber bullet.
Wow, that looks very painful. I wouldn't say that's my favorite one, just because you just have a kind of empathetic response if you were a man to that unfortunate experience. But I would say my favorite one was probably the Molotov cocktails, the guys setting themselves on fire, because there's so much symbolism to it. These are people who are trying to burn down their countrymen, burn down buildings, burn the American flag, burn our country to the ground. And they wind up not burning any of those innocent people and institutions. They end up burning themselves. And that's what happens. That's what happens when you attack your own country. A little levity amid months and months and months of chaos, mayhem, and destruction. A little bit of levity in there. Do you think these leftists learned any lesson from it? Probably not. Let me know your favorites in the comment section if you have any more videos that we can enjoy just as a little silver lining to this crazy leftist storm cloud.